Shri Baijayant Panda ji.
Sir, as I rise to speak on this issue of the Pakistani-sponsored terror attack in Pahalgam,
आपका रिकॉर्ड में नहीं जा रहा है
and
आप बैठिएगा, आप बैठिएगा.
thereafter Operation Sindur. Sir, this has seen both a new low by Pakistan, although it has a long history of sponsoring terrorism and is known as the epicenter, the global epicenter of terrorism. This is a new low because the terrorists, as has been widely spoken about, identified the victims by religion before killing them. This has also seen a new normal in India's response and a new milestone in teaching Pakistan a lesson. Sir, this saga has been going on for 78 years, from immediately after independence, when Pakistan has been sending terrorists across the border. Many efforts have been made over the decades. Many steps have been taken, including many conciliatory steps. Steps which have involved agreements on water, steps which have involved giving back land that has been captured, steps that have involved returning tens of thousands of prisoners of war. These steps have seen many different aspects. We have seen bus diplomacy. We have seen many different efforts. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, right from 2014, tried to reach out, tried to have an understanding with Pakistan to fight poverty together. Right from the beginning, he invited his counterpart, the Pakistani Prime Minister, for the oath-taking ceremony. He even walked into Lahore unannounced, unarmed, filled only with courage and with good intention. But that was repaid with more terror attacks on Indian soil, more Indian lives taken, with the sponsorship and the training of Pakistan. Sir, भारत ने हर बार शांति का हाथ बढ़ाया, पाकिस्तान ने हर बार आतंक का रास्ता अपनाया. This is the reality of our experience with cross-border terrorism. We have responded, sir, and it is important to point out the new normal that is now in place. We responded first with the surgical strikes. They did not relent. The Pakistanis still kept sponsoring, training, financing, sending terrorists across. We then responded with the Balakot airstrikes. And the airstrikes are a message which have continued till today. No one who kills Indians will sleep peacefully. Not across the border, not even in the safety of their homes. They will be tracked down and they will be killed inside their own homes. But this time, in Pahalgam, this new law which was achieved required Operation Sindur. So they attacked tourists and we attacked terrorists. We did not target Pakistan's civilians. Our response, Operation Sindur, was precise, it was measured, and it targeted terrorist sites. And only when Pakistan escalated did we then hit back at many more sites. Sir, this is not a reaction. This is a doctrine. This is the Modi doctrine. This is the new normal which Pakistan has now understood. Let me say this clearly, sir, that the India of today is not the India of 2008. This is very important because this turnaround, this new normal, is because of our changed policies. Sir, we must give full credit to our armed forces. The Honorable Defense Minister has pointed out their bravery, their sacrifices for the nation, and during this conflict also, what is important is, one question was asked, what about China? I have several things to say about China, but let me point out, when the Honorable Defense Minister said that the Indian Air Force bypassed and jammed air defense systems of Pakistan in 22 minutes, those were Chinese-supplied air defense systems that were neutralized in just 22 minutes. Sir, what is not often talked about, one thing we must, of course, acknowledge is that the entire country stood united on Operation Sindoor. I'm glad that even some friends across the aisle, across the other benches today, reiterated that. But sometimes, some honorable members have not been beneath taking this issue into domestic politics. I will come into that. One of the aspects that did not get talked about is that in this operation, where 11 air bases of a nuclear-armed country was hit, this is perhaps a first. This is perhaps a first that the armed bases of a nuclear-armed country was hit by India, 11 of them, and it destroyed 20% of Pakistan's Air Force assets. This is something that is worth remembering. The 9 bases of terrorists, their camps, which were neutralized, involved those of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, those of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, those of the Hizbul Mujahideen, all proscribed terror organizations who have long targeted India with the support of Pakistan. They are Pakistani based, they are Pakistani. Sir, we have talked about more than 100 terrorists being eliminated in Operation Sindoor's hit on Pakistan. It is also important to point out that at least 5 of them were very infamous names known around the world. Names like Mudassar Khadian Khas, senior operator of LET. This is the person who was given a guard of honor by the Pakistani military. Khalid alias Abu Akasha, another Lashkar-e-Taiba commander. Muhammad Yusuf Azhar, wanted in the IC 814 hijack terror attack. Hafiz Muhammad Jamil, brother-in-law of Maulana Masood Azhar, and Muhammad Hassan Khan, Jaish-e-Mohammed commander. These are very significant names. These are very significant achievements in eliminating these terrorists. On the other hand, Pakistan's attempt to retaliate failed. And it pains me that friends in the opposition who have questioned India, who have questioned the successes achieved by the Indian armed forces, haven't pointed out these failures of Pakistan, nor have they asked these questions of Pakistan. Sir, Pakistan attacked Jammu University. It attacked the UN field station in Kashmir. These were neutralized, as the Honorable Defense Minister pointed out, by the UAS Unmanned Aerial System Grid. India's actions were purely to counter terrorism and hit terrorists, decoupling the issue from any other disputes. Sir, if we look at the new normal that I have been talking about, it is important to understand what the past was. In the past, on a regular basis, almost on a daily basis, Pakistani sponsored terrorists were attacking India and killing Indians. Sir, if I give you a short list of the previous terror attacks and our responses, you will understand, sir, and I hope all our friends will understand, that the new normal indeed is very dramatically different. Sir, 2005, Delhi serial blasts. A dossier was sent to Pakistan. So 2006, Varanasi bombings. India raised the issue in Indo-Pak talks. Mumbai attacks, sir, 2008, when so many people were killed, and the then government decided not to retaliate. What is most shameful is that retaliation was considered. Retaliation was planned by our armed forces, but the then government did not permit retaliation. It is on record that the then senior-most officials of the government, whether it was the Foreign Secretary, whether it was the then NSA, took a decision not to hit back at Pakistan. This is what is really shocking, sir. 2006, Mumbai terror bombings. Sir, it is also important to point out that after the Mumbai attacks, 7 months after that, the then Prime Minister met the Pakistani president on the sidelines of the SCO summit in Russia and decided that India and Pakistan would continue dialogue. So we kept appeasing them. Our governments of the day over decades kept appeasing them, putting no pressure on them to stop their terror funding, terror organizing. Sir, in 2006, 2 months after the Mumbai train bombings, the then Prime Minister met Pakistani President Musharraf on the sidelines of the NAM summit in Havana and again agreed to maintain the peace process. So that so-called peace process was no peace process at all. It was only peaceful for Pakistan. Indians in large numbers were sacrificed. India was attacked repeatedly and large numbers of Indians were harmed and killed. Sir, worst of all, in 2009, within 8 months of the Mumbai terror attack, the then Prime Minister met his Pakistani counterpart at Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt and agreed to again continue the cooperation with Pakistan. This for a country that for 78 years has been attacking India ceaselessly. Our approach in the past was only to cooperate, only to talk, not to retaliate, not to teach them a lesson. Sir, the worst part of this at Sharm el-Sheikh was a reference to Balochistan, which can be interpreted as if India and Pakistan are equated, as if India does similar things to Pakistan, whereas the issues are entirely different. There are no terror camps in India training terrorists and sending them to Balochistan. There is no equation at all. There is no comparison at all. And yet, our government of the day had no compunction in granting such a hyphenation with Pakistan. Sir, this can go on and on. There are many, many different such examples, and I will come to some of them. Sir, one question has been raised as to whether there was pressure on India to conclude the hostilities. There was absolutely no pressure on India. This has been pointed out again and again. Sir, any country can call and make suggestions. Anybody can do that. We as members of parliament can call up our counterparts when they are in the midst of hostilities, and we can give them suggestions. That is not how the hostilities ended. Sir, India has pointed out very, very clearly that this is a bilateral issue, and we have no intention of escalating. We would stop hostilities if Pakistan requested. And until and unless Pakistan directly requested India, we did not stop the hostilities. It had no relation, no connection to any requests by anybody else until Pakistan directly requested India. And sir, I asked my friends in the opposition, this has not been contradicted by anyone. Has anyone contradicted India's assertion that we insisted that it had to be a Pakistani request that we will respond to? And Pakistan finally came to its knees and requested, and that is what we responded to. Now, it is shameful that many in our country keep questioning the Indian armed forces, keep questioning the Indian government, and don't question what Pakistan stands for, what Pakistan says. Sir, I want to point out what Pakistan has said. They made absurd claims. Pakistan has made a claim to an international TV channel on 7th May. Pakistan's IB minister, Ataullah Tarar, said, there are no terrorist camps in Pakistan. Have any of our friends in the opposition questioned that? Many of them have been quoted repeatedly in international media. Have any of them questioned that? Pakistan, where the most infamous terrorist in memory, the Al-Qaeda chief, was sheltered next to an army base, claiming that it doesn't have terror camps. When terror camps have been pointed out in satellite imagery, not only terror camps have been pointed out, because of the efforts of our government, many terrorist organizations and many individual terrorists have been proscribed by a variety of multilateral organizations, including the United Nations itself. Sir, I would like to point out that when the Honorable Congress member from Assam talked about certain things, I think it does deserve a response. I compliment him and others who said that they stand with the government of India, but the questions and the accusations against the government cannot go unanswered. Sir, it was amusing when he asked when POK would be got back. Sir, it was amusing when he referred to the number of Rafales and the China question. Sir, I would like to point out, and he used the point and he used the word that India bowed down. And his leader, whom he cited today in relation to the China question, has often used the word surrender. I think it is important for this House to point out how many times over the decades Congress has surrendered India's interest. Please have the patience to listen to this. 1948, Pakistan illegally occupied 78,000 square kilometers, the same POK that my friend was referring to. When our armed forces wanted just a little bit more time to conclude the armed operations and take it back, the then Prime Minister took the matter to the UN. Surrender, number one, it started from day one. 1949, Congress ignored the Kabah Valley, which was leased to Burma by UK. Manipur had received rent until 1949. Congress did nothing about it, surrendered that. Surrender number two. Sir, in 1954, our then Prime Minister conceded India's rights in Tibet, accepting China's annexation without gain, withdrawing our military escorts and services. A very major surrender, number three. Sir, in 1958, under the Noon-Nehru Pact, Berubari was transferred to East Pakistan, despite severe opposition. Another surrender. So I lose count of the number of surrenders, but there are quite a lot. Please allow me to point out a few more. If I list all the surrenders that Congress did of India's national interest, then the 16 hours that the Honorable Speaker has granted us will not be enough. But I will point out a few more. Sir, in the 1950s, our then Prime Minister rejected the proposal for a UN permanent seat for India in the Security Council. Surrender to China. Surrender. 1960, India conceded the Sarja Majra, Rakh Hardit Singh, Pathan Ke, Suleiman Ke and Chak Lereke in Punjab to Pakistan. Another surrender. Sir, our then Prime Minister played down the value of Aksai Chin in 1959, calling it barren and uninhabited, when in fact it is full of mineral resources, dismissing conflict with China. Another surrender. Sir, I can just go on and on and on. In 1963, Pakistan conceded more than 5,000 square kilometers in POK to China. India stayed silent. Surrender. So I can just keep going on. In 1965, India returned the Haji Pir Pass to Pakistan under the Tashkent Agreement. Surrender. Sir, under the 1971 Shimla Agreement, India returned 5,000 square miles to Pakistan, while Pakistan retained 30,000 square miles, and 93,000 Pakistani soldiers were released, while at the same time 56 Indian soldiers died in Pakistani jails. There are so many other surrenders, sir. If I keep listing all the surrenders, then, as I said, the whole time will be taken up. Sir, I can tell you that there are many, many more surrenders that the Congress party did of Indian interest. And since the issue of China was raised, I think it is important to point out, isn't it the leader of the opposition who, on social media, is seen praising China's capabilities, China's drones? Has he once ever complimented the Indian armed forces and the Indian indigenous technologies? Has it happened? Sir, let me point out, others are pointing this out. Others are saying that India has done very well on this front. International experts are pointing this out. But our opposition members are refusing to take a stand on this. नहीं, मजा कैसे लगेगा? मजा कैसे लगेगा? क्योंकि ये बहुत कठिन बातें हैं. देखिए, ये तो मिर्ची है, कहां से अच्छा लगेगा? Yes, Kachatibu, Ran of Kutch, there are many others. Yes, there are many others if I start listing them. देखिए, मजा तो तब आता अगर आप भी फ्री हैंड देते हैं. आपके कई सारे ऐसे नेता हैं जो बहुत अच्छा बोल सकते हैं. मैं तो सुन रहा था मेरे मित्र मान्य शशि थरूर जी जो बहुत ही अच्छा बोलते हैं. ये तो हालांकि अलग बात है कि अभी कुछ दिनों से उनके नेतृत्व उनके पार्टी के तरफ से उनको बोलने नहीं देते हैं. लेकिन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. लेकिन मुझे लेकिन सुन तो लीजिए सर. लेकिन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि उनको देश के हित में बोलने के लिए कोई रोक नहीं सका. मजा तो उसमें आता है. Point to be noted. Sir, I would request my friends on the other side that before they raise issues about China, they must, and they talk about candor, they must speak with candor about any MOUs that they might have with the Chinese ruling party. Does the Indian public not have a right to know what is the understanding that the Congress party has with the Chinese Communist Party? Does it not raise questions when they keep raising points and rebuttals and issues which are constantly aimed against the Indian armed forces, which are constantly aimed against the government of India? But as I said, in so many appearances before global media, I have not seen them raise questions about China other than praising China's technology and drones. I have not seen them questioning Pakistan for all the absurd and false claims that it makes. Sir, I said earlier that globally experts are recognizing India's indigenous capacities. I just point out two experts, sir, and then I'll start coming to my conclusion. Sir, John Spencer, who's the chair of Modern War Institute in the US last year in 2024, he said, "Make in India has transformed the country's defense landscape. From meeting 32% of the Army's ammunition needs domestically in 2014, in 2024, India meets 88% of its ammunition needs domestically." Sir, another expert, Tom Cooper, who is a military historian and an aviation analyst, says this right after Operation Sindur's attack on Pakistan. Quote, "The world knew about India's capability, but it had not been demonstrated before. And all of a sudden, within 24 hours, India showed that it can hit Pakistan hard." Unquote. Sir, the reality is, all the statistics that I have been citing about hitting Pakistani air bases, about hitting Pakistani terrorist sites, are all backed up. They are backed up by satellite imagery. They are backed up by recordings. Whereas the Pakistani claims against India are fake. They are fake news. They are propaganda. And sadly, some of our friends, while ostensibly standing with India, standing with the government, standing with the people of India on Operation Sindoor, have fallen into supporting that narrative of Pakistan. Unsubstantiated claims against India, which I think ultimately the objective of the Pakistan narrative is to demoralize our forces. It is certainly not to encourage them for all these successes that they have had. Sir, as I come to the close of my speech, I would like to point out a few other things. One of the allegations that some friends in the opposition keep making is that our position is not supported around the world, that India doesn't have friends, that India has not made its message clear. Now, nothing could be further from the truth, sir. Let me point this out. Sir, post-Pahalgam, post-Operation Sindoor, India has received 61 messages from heads of state, heads of government, and vice presidents. India has received 35 messages from foreign ministers. These are all in support. India has received 38 messages from members of various parliaments and former heads of state and government, leaders of opposition from various countries, and 43 messages from heads of various diplomatic missions. I would like to cite just a few of them, sir. The United States has made it very clear India has a sovereign right to combat terrorism. This is all post-Operation Sindoor. France, quote, unwavering solidarity and stands firmly with India. Sir, Armenia, terrorism cannot be condoned and must be condemned. Countries have the right to defend themselves against terrorism. Russia, this brutal crime has no justification whatsoever, and its perpetrators will face a deserved punishment. United Kingdom, India has every right to be outraged by the Pahalgam killings. Saudi Arabia strongly denounced the terrorist attacks in Pahalgam, reaffirmed firm stance against terrorism and extremism. Sir, I can go on and on. I think one of my friends in the opposition mentioned that Iran, from whom we buy certain petro products, has not condemned it. So that's not true. Iran too has the president of Iran directly called up our Prime Minister Modi ji and conveyed in the strongest words the support to India. Sir, multilateral agencies like BRICS and Quad and even the FATF have all condemned the Pahalgam attack. Nobody has condemned India's right to defend itself. Nobody has opposed it. That used to be the case in the past. Nobody has said India should not be defending itself and in implementing the decisions taken by the CCS. Sir, the proof of the pudding remains in the final information that come out. Even as we were debating this issue today, some of us must have seen in the news that an Operation Mahadev is being conducted in Jammu and Kashmir, targeted at terrorists, and it appears that at least one of those eliminated today was involved in the Pahalgam attack. Now, one of the important developments that has taken place, sir, is that for 2 years now, India has been giving detailed information to the UN, to US and other countries about this outfit called the TRF, the Resistance Front. The TRF is a front organization of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, LET. Sir, as terrorist organizations get proscribed and have limitations, don't have as much freedom to move money and have training camps, they come up with all these new names and new structures. Sir, I think our friends who for several weeks now have been going around saying that India has not been succeeding in taking its message around the world should acknowledge just a few days ago the United States has proscribed the TRF as a terrorist organization, as a global terrorist threat. Sir, India has been succeeding. It is not enough to just stand with the people of India. Of course, you must stand with the people of India because otherwise you get completely sidelined. It is also important to celebrate India's successes. It is also important to boost the morale of our armed forces, to boost the morale of our scientists and technologists who have developed these indigenous equipment and indigenous armaments. Sir, as I close, I would like to just point out two things. Sir, with your indulgence, I would like to paraphrase a line from a Hindi film of about 4 years ago. No, the film was called Sardar Udham, and उसमें एक लाइन था सर, लाइन था कि दुश्मन को दर्द का एहसास हो तो जवाब तभी पूरा होता है. सर, मैं इस संदर्भ में कहना चाहता हूं कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर वो जवाब था जिसमें दर्द भी था और संदेश भी. Sir, as I close, I would like to point out the following. Those who are still wanting to test Bharat's will, the willpower of the Indian government and the Indian people, will be in a very sorry situation. Sir, in concluding, I must also point out that when we sent out delegations, 7 delegations went out to different countries. I was part of one of them. And the experiences that we had was very clear. All these nations unequivocally understood and supported India's stance. All these nations reiterated India had a right to self-defense and to hit back against terror. Every one of them condemned the Pahalgam terror attack. And sir, I would like to make one point here. Sir, many of these countries have given their highest honors to Prime Minister Modi. I believe of the countries that we visited, more than 11 have given their highest honors. Sir, what is important is that these are not just personal honors for our Prime Minister. Of course, we are all personally proud that the Prime Minister of India has been given the highest civilian and military honors in so many different countries. We went to 4 countries in my group, to Saudi Arabia, to Kuwait, to Bahrain, to Algeria. 3 out of those 4 countries have given their highest honors. Sir, it is important for the nation. It is not just a personal recognition. It is important for the nation. We experienced, our group experienced, when we went, the impact that this has had, the impact of India's foreign policy of the Modi government has had on all these nations, and we perceived that strength and that support. In conclusion, sir, those who are still wanting to test India's will, let them know we are a people of peace, but we are not prisoners of it. Let them know we don't seek conflict, but we will not fear it. Let them know we never start fights, but we never lose them either. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.